Next. Behind this reunion selfie lies an untold story of time, fame, loss, and the lasting legacy of the X-Files. There are some stories that feel old. And then there are stories that feel haunted. The X-Files does not feel old. It feels haunted by time. Maybe that is why the image works so well. The younger self and the older self in one frame, shoulder to shoulder, staring into the same phone, both aware that something has changed, and something has not. A young Mulder still hungry for answers. An older Mulder who knows that answers often come too late. A young Scully still armed with science, discipline, and doubt. An older Scully who has already learned that reason can survive mystery, but it cannot always protect the heart. That is why a selfie with time fits the X-Files better than almost any other television series. Because this was never just a show about aliens. It was a show about belief and damage. About the things people chase for so long that the chase begins to change them. About how truth can save you, and isolate you, and scar you all at once. When the X-Files first premiered on September 10, 1993, it looked like a strange little network gamble. It began as a Fox series about two FBI agents investigating paranormal cases, and over time it grew into one of the defining television landmarks of its era. The original run lasted until May 19, 2002. Then the series returned for revival seasons in 2016 and 2018, bringing the total to 11 seasons and 218 episodes. It also expanded into two feature films, The X-Files, Fight the Future in 1998 and The X-Files, I Want to Believe in 2008. That alone would have been enough for most shows. A long run, a loyal fan base, a famous catchphrase, a place in pop culture. But The X-Files did more than survive. It changed the temperature of television. It helped prove that a network drama could be intelligent, eerie, cinematic, emotional, philosophical, and deeply weird without losing a mass audience. Britannica notes that the show drew a huge cult following, and that following eventually became something larger than cult status. It became a cultural language, and the awards followed. Across its run, The X-Files earned 61 Primetime Emmy nominations and 15 wins. At the Golden Globes, it won Best Television Series, Drama in 1995, 1997, and 1998. Gillian Anderson won the Globe for Best Actress in a TV Drama in 1997, and David Duchovny won Best Actor in a TV Drama that same year. Those are not small achievements. Those are the marks of a show that moved from genre success into prestige history. And still, the trophies are not the deepest reason people remember it. People remember the basement office. The flashlight beams through the dark. The autopsy rooms. The motel rooms. The forests. The rain. The files stacked like unhealed questions. The sense that every answer came with a cost. Mulder and Scully were never compelling just because they investigated monsters. They mattered because they were two ways of surviving uncertainty. Mulder believed too much. Scully doubted with discipline. And between them, the show built one of the most enduring partnerships in television history. That partnership still defines the series. Even now. Even after decades. Even after revival, criticism, reinvention, and cultural change. And when you place the young actors beside their older selves in a reunion image, the emotional force becomes clearer. You are not just seeing performers revisit roles. You are seeing what time has done to conviction. The younger versions still carry urgency. The older versions carry memory. And memory changes everything. So what happened to the cast? Who is still active? Who moved further from the spotlight? And who is no longer here? The central answer is this. Unlike some famous ensemble shows, The X-Files does not divide neatly into still acting and gone. Many of its key players have remained active, though not always at the same intensity, and some have moved into more selective careers or broader creative lives. That makes the reunion concept more interesting, because it is less about disappearance than evolution. Gillian Anderson is still very much active. Recent listings show projects including The Abandons, 2025, Trespasses, 2025, and Tron Ares, 2025, which is exactly the kind of resume that tells you she never became trapped inside Dana Scully. She outgrew the role while keeping it immortal. David Duchovny is active as well. IMDb lists him in Secrets Declassified with David Duchovny, 2025, and other recent work, while the Television Academy biography also notes that he stepped back from acting for a period to focus more on writing and music. That matters, because it means his path after The X-Files was not simply more acting. It was a broader creative life. Annabeth Gish has continued acting, with projects listed in post-production and completed status for 2026 and beyond. Robert Patrick likewise remains active, with recent and upcoming film and TV work still appearing across IMDb's current listings. And that is the truth of much of the X-Files ensemble. Not disappearance, but different trajectories. Some remained highly visible. Some became more selective. Some drifted into lower-volume careers. Some moved between acting and other forms of work. But the core legacy cast did not collapse into obscurity. That makes the sadness of The X-Files different from the sadness of some other long-running shows. Its grief is not built mainly on careers ending. Its grief is built on time passing, and on the people who are no longer here. Among the notable figures connected to The X-Files who have died, Miguel Ferrer, who played assistant director Alvin Kirsch, died in 2017 at age 61. Peter Doggett, who played Mulder's father Bill Mulder, died in 2018 at age 90. Barry Morse, who played Senator Richard Matheson, died in 2008 at age 89. When you remember that, the reunion image changes. Because suddenly, the younger self is not just nostalgia. It is preservation. The younger actor in costume becomes a door. A moment that can still be opened. A piece of light that can still be held. And the older version, when possible, becomes witness. Witness to the work. Witness to the years. Witness to what the show became in the lives of those who made it and those who watched it. That is one reason The X-Files still matters. It is not only a science fiction thriller. It is a long emotional archive of uncertainty. It captured a generation's fear of institutions, hidden power, contaminated truth, biological anxiety, government secrecy, and spiritual loneliness. And it did all of that while still making room for humor, tenderness, romance, and monster of the week invention. That range is one reason it keeps appearing in discussions of the greatest television shows ever made, including major all-time lists from outlets such as Rolling Stone and Variety. So then comes the difficult question. Has anything surpassed it? The honest answer is the same answer that follows all truly foundational shows. It depends on what you mean by surpassed. If you mean influence on prestige television, there are strong arguments for other giants. If you mean social depth, some people will choose The Wire. If you mean psychological modernism, some will choose The Sopranos. If you mean tightly sustained formal excellence, others will point to different dramas from other eras. But The X-Files has something many greater shows do not. It has atmosphere that entered the bloodstream of pop culture. It had myth. It had chemistry. It had paranoia. It had loneliness. It had a phrase, "The truth is out there," that became bigger than the series itself. And it kept enough quality and identity over enough years to remain part of Sirius' greatest of all-time conversations decades later. It is still rated 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb and remains on IMDb's top-rated TV chart. while also appearing on broad all-time lists from other major outlets. So no, there is no clean universal verdict that says the X-Files has been permanently erased from the mountaintop. And maybe it never could be. Because the X-Files was doing something more elusive than prestige. It was giving shape to doubt. It was telling audiences that mystery was not just something outside us. It was something inside us. Mulder needed the truth because grief had hollowed him out. Scully needed evidence because reason was the line that kept fear from winning. Skinner lived in the middle, carrying duty and compromise. The cigarette-smoking man represented power without conscience. Doggett brought procedural weight. Reyes brought intuition and spiritual openness. And the whole world of the show kept asking the same impossible question. How do you stay human when truth itself becomes destabilizing? That question has not aged. If anything, it has become more modern. And that may be the deepest reason the series still lives. Because beneath the extraterrestrials and conspiracies, the X-Files was never really about whether the paranormal was real. It was about whether two human beings could keep faith with each other while reality kept shifting under their feet. That is why the younger and older self-image hurts. The younger Mulder still thinks the truth will heal him. The older Mulder knows that truth can expose, but not fully restore. The younger Scully still thinks discipline can hold the world together. The older Scully knows that the heart breaks even when the mind is right. That is not just nostalgia. That is adulthood. And that leads to the core value of the X-Files. Its core value is the courage to keep searching without losing your humanity. Not blind belief. Not blind skepticism. Not surrender. Not certainty. Search. The show argues that mystery is unavoidable, but moral collapse is not. That fear is real, but companionship matters. That institutions can fail, evidence can be manipulated, memory can wound, and truth can hide for years, and still the act of searching honestly remains worthwhile. That is a beautiful value, a painful one, and a lasting one. So when your video shows an actor beside a younger version of themselves, both sharing one candid frame, the X-Files becomes more than a reunion concept. It becomes a philosophy of time. One face still asking. One face still carrying. One life split by decades, but joined by memory. And that, in the end, may be why this series refuses to disappear. It is not only because it was successful, though it was. Not only because it was acclaimed, though it was. Not only because it was influential, though clearly it was. It endures because it understood something essential. People do not just want answers. They want meaning. They want someone beside them in the dark. They want a reason to keep opening the file, even when the file opens something painful in return. That is what Mulder and Scully gave each other. That is what the show gave its audience. And that is why, decades later, the reunion still feels emotional. Because the younger self is not gone. It is still there inside the story, waiting in the light of an old hallway, under the buzz of fluorescent lamps in the rain in the woods, in the basement office, believing that one more case might finally explain everything. And the older self? The older self knows better, but still shows up. Still looks into the camera. Still stands beside the past. Still asks the question. Still wants the truth. When you think about the X-Files today, what matters more to you? The conspiracy mythology, the standalone cases, or the bond between Mulder and Scully? Which selfie with time reunion would hit you the hardest? Mulder, Scully, Skinner, the smoking man, Doggett, or Reyes, and why? Do you believe any series has truly surpassed the X-Files in mystery and atmosphere, or does it still belong among television's greatest legends?